Okay, DONs, I am going to show you how to use the NPR report that is on the WAN. So here I have my WAN. I'm going to go to the Start menu, click on my computer. This is how I like to get there. You may have another way of getting there. I'm going to open up the iDrive, which is also known as the common drive. Double click it, make this larger. And then I'm going to come over here to the Northern Pioneer folder. Double click on that. The NPR report is housed within the QA folder. So double click on QA folder and there it is, NPR report. So you double click on the report. I'm going to come over here to the questions tab. These are all the questions that you need to answer. There are 16 total questions. What I've done is in parentheses put where you can find the information that you need to fill in the report here. So you see question number 1 says total number of residents with in-house acquired pressure ulcers. You obtain that from your own facility records. Moving down to, as an example, question number 6, percentage of on-time, notice that says on-time MDS assessments obtained from your MDS resource. Question number 7, in-house facility acquired infection rate obtained from facility records. To calculate, please see example to the side. So you take your total facility acquired infections for the month, divided over your total patient days. You can get this information, the total patient days information, from your BOM. Your DSD should be doing this anyways, so DONs, you can just get that number from your DSD. Multiply this equation by 1,000 and that equals your infection rate. So here we have an example. If I have 8 total facility acquired infections, if I have 3,000 total patient days for the month, I multiply that by 1,000 and I get 2.67 infections per 1,000 patient days, or in other words, an infection rate of 2.67%. Okay, so you're going to want to enter the data over here where it says data. Go to the data tab. So here you see many of you have already entered some information. I'm going to show you how this is done in case you haven't done it to this point. So I'm going to put in the date, or the year 2012. What month this is going to be July. You can either type it in or you can use the drop-down menu. And this is a little slow and I'm sorry. The drop-down menu right there, July. So now I'm going to put in the facility. Let's say this is for Sonoma. Again, you can type it in or use the drop-down menu. Once you do that, the cluster automatically pops up. In-house pressure ulcers. What I've done for each of these columns is put a little note, this little note right here, a little yellow note that pops up every time you click on a cell. So for in-house pressure ulcers, it says please enter the total number of acquired pressure ulcers. Let's say there were 2 for the month of July. In-house pressure ulcers, I'm sorry, this is total. So let's say we have 5 total in the facility. We have 1 that was acquired this month. Residents with falls. This is total residents with falls. So let's say we had 6. That would be wonderful. Total falls. So we had total residents, 6 residents with falls. Total falls, 1 of them had 2 falls, so we're going to say 7. Significant injury falls, 0. Again, this is information that you would obtain from your own facility records. On-time MDS percentage. Well, we did pretty good, but we didn't get 100%. We got 98.5%. And I would get that information, if I'm in Sonoma, I would get that information from Joy. In-house infection rate, I go through that wonderful calculation that we talked about before, and let's say the infection rate ends up being 3.58%. Readmits. Readmits, you can get this information from your BOM, or you can get it from the operations reports that are on the WAN, or you can also get this information from PCC. This is 30-day readmissions. I can put in, let's say, 1. Residents with significant weight loss. Again, this comes from your own facility records. You can also pull this information from PCC if your facility is using PCC's function to track that data. Let's say there's 1. Deficiencies or complaints for the month of July in Sonoma, let's say there were 0. And if I had a survey during this month, then I would enter the survey date. Let's just say I did. and it ended on 7/24/2012. Staff turnover percentage. You would get this information from the ED every month. The ED gets a report from the service center that specifies what the turnover percentage is for your particular facility. So let's say that it's 10%. Nursing overtime percentage. Again, you would get this from your ED. He or she gets a report from the service center with overtime percentage for the month. And he may be tracking this anyways. He likely will get information from the AP manager, the payroll manager. So let's say that it's 2%. Average daily census. This comes from your BOM. This comes from the ED as well. I mean, there's a lot of places where you can get this information. Let's say that for Sonoma it is 115 average daily census, and your wages PPD. Again, you would get this from the ED or the the ED. He or she gets a labor report. Let's say that for Sonoma in the month of July it is 75, and then hours PPD. Let's say that it's 3.5. Okay, so now you've filled in the whole report. You can come over here to the Analysis tab, and here you see that there is a drop-down menu. You can input the year. Over here you have the facility drop down, so I'm going to put in Sonoma. So now you see that all of that information that we input into the other tab, the data tab for Sonoma for the month of July, is right there. So 5 pressure ulcers, 1 this month, 6 residents with falls, 7 total falls, etc., etc., etc. So if you want to look at a graph of what this information looks like on a graph, we come over here to the Facility tab, and here it is. So Sonoma shows up right there. The information that we just inputted, along with the other information that Abby has already put into the system, is already right here. It's graphed for you. Not everything is here, but most of the important things are here. So pressure ulcers, we have in-house acquired pressure ulcers and in-house pressure ulcers this month. Then we have falls, significant weight loss, in-house infection rate. We also have late MDS, I'm sorry, I need to change that. This is on-time MDS percentage, 30-day readmissions, and nursing hours PPD. You'll notice that if I change the facility over here on this tab, specifically in this drop-down menu, let's say it's, let's just say it's Parkview. So I'm going to come over here. You see that that information changes. And if I click over here on this tab, the facility tab, the information for this tab also changes. Down here, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see that there is something for the clusters. So same deal here. You have a drop-down menu with the year and the 3 clusters. We have 212, Crushers, and Mojo. So this helps us to see how the cluster is performing. So I'm going to click on Crushers, where it is right now. If I come over here to the cluster tab, the little yellow tab that says cluster, we see the information for the Crushers. Back to the Analysis tab. You scroll down a little bit more, and you'll see the company stats. This is company stats for the whole company, all of Northern Pioneer. Come over here to this tab, and this is how the company is doing as a whole. So this is information that Lynn, for example, or Corey would want to see, is how the company is doing as a whole, aside from how the clusters are doing it as a whole and how the facility is doing. So that's how you use this information once, or this tool. Once you're done filling in the information here, you come over here, you click Save. It saves everything. If you want to print any of these things, I formatted it so that you can click Print by coming over here to File, click on Print, and it will print just this page. All of this information fits on one page. If you have any other questions about how this tool is used, or if you have suggestions for how to make it flow better, please let me know, and I will incorporate those changes and try to help you to better understand how to use this. Thank you very much, and goodbye.